Hello and welcome to the MM+M Agency 100 video series. I'm Executive Editor Jack O'Brien. About a week ago, I got to catch up with a couple of our friends over at Deerfield, Dominic Viola, Chief Innovation Officer, and Jesse Peace, the Head of Experience Strategy. What we got to talk about was AI, one of the hottest topics in the industry, specifically how Deerfield is taking a very unique approach to this hot, interesting topic, being that they're taking AI and infusing it with HI, also known as human intelligence. For more, I'm going to throw it back over to myself so we can hop right into this conversation. I want to start with the conversation. Dominic, maybe you can walk us through this concept of agency of intelligence. How does that apply to what's going on at Deerfield?
Simply what we mean by agency of intelligence is that we augment human intelligence with artificial intelligence. So making sure that we're aligning the expertise within that specific domain with the best tools that we can develop to make sure that we're getting more value out of that person, and value is then delivered to those clients and ultimately to those patients out in the world. So Deerfield's always prided itself on leveraging technology. That's kind of their competitive advantage, and that's what we've been doing for 14 years now. So with the introduction of generative AI, it was kind of a no-brainer. We jumped right in. We started getting familiar, asking the right questions, delivering on the right tools. And one of the things we've noticed, especially in recent times as the technology has advanced, is no matter how good AI is, it's the operator that's going to get the most value out of it. So if you take an account person and a creative person, both very skilled at AI, and you put them in front of our AI studio and you have them both kind of develop a design or a concept, the creative 9 times out of 10 is always going to come out with a better output. So it's really about customizing these tools around the people, their experience and their knowledge, so that they can get the best value out of them.
And that's going to tie into another phrase that we're going to hear a lot during this conversation, and maybe if you just want to parse that out for the audience, is we talk about AI, people know that that's artificial intelligence. What is HI?
HI is human intelligence. So the idea that we've had the expertise in-house as it relates to our strategy teams, our creative teams, our technological teams. So that's the human intelligence. And then the artificial intelligence is obviously all the new tools we're seeing coming out into the market now.
Excellent. And we're going to, again, be kind of balancing that going forward. But Jesse, I want to bring you into the conversation here because there has been this shift. So ChatGPT comes online like at the tail end of 2022. And I remember all these conversations I had with agency folks. So they're like, oh, it's so much experimentation. We just set up our own GPT. Oh, that was like 2023. I'd say even most of 24. And then last year, it was really like, hey, we're actually delivering results either internally or for our clients and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about the shift that you're seeing in the AI space, especially as it relates to what Deerfield is doing?
It's a great question, actually. We really see this as a shift from novelty to necessity. Mm-hmm. So we're no longer experimenting. We're really using the AI as an advantage. And across the board, all of our clients right now are being asked to deliver more value, right? They're being asked to do more. They have to launch faster. They have to target more effectively. They have to think more strategically. So at Deerfield, we're trying to meet that challenge with our clients. And we're really trying to take the best parts of AI, harness that, and pair that with our human experts to continue to deliver more and more value for our clients to help them meet the challenge that they're being faced with.
I want to talk a little bit about specialization too, because I think when people talk about the rollout of AI, they're like, oh, it's going to go everywhere and everything. But like the most effective ways that I've seen agencies and the brands that they work with actually be able to deploy these things is say, these are very targeted use cases. We have them specialized down to a T. Dominic, I don't know if you want to start the conversation, or Jesse, like where are you seeing that specialization really take hold?
Yeah, well, in pharma specifically, as you know, there's a lot of regulations, whether it comes down to the complexity of the science that you're talking about, the adverse events, the packaging of materials for submissions, the complex approval process, right? It's very complicated. And there's a lot of nuances too in how they shift some of those regulatory refinements over time. So in order to train, or in order to get the best output out of a model, you need to train that model. You need to make sure that that model has all the DNA of your brand. It understands the therapeutic area you're in. It understands where the transition of comments over time have come from, why the FDA regulations are in place. That sometimes takes days, weeks, even months, depending on the tools you're building to make sure that you get that right output. Any standard offering off the shelf is not going to have that expertise. It's not going to have those guardrails. A big buzzword right now people are talking about is harnesses. So all these tools now have harnesses around them. And the whole purpose of those harnesses is to harness them and customize them to what you need. So not only to make it easier for a creative person or a strategic person internally to use that tool and get the best output, but also so that that output aligns to everything that our clients need and that the FDA regulators.
I think the point that Dom made around the specialization of tools is super important. To us, it's less about providing individual tools to our folks and expecting them to be more productive, right? That would be like asking them to build a house using a hammer and a handsaw. They might get there eventually. It's going to be painful along the way, and the output isn't going to quite be what we want it to be. So at Deerfield, it's more about democratizing the use of AI tools across all of our folks, regardless of their experience level with AI, and doing so through providing specialized harnesses and specialized agents that really allow them, again, to do their jobs to a new level and provide that value that we're looking for. And we do that across all of our departments, I'd say. So it starts with collaboration. We're developing internal collaboration tools that allow our folks to co-create, to make sure they're aligned at the beginning of a project, which of course reduces production cycles. We're not only doing that internally, though, we're doing that with our clients as well. So we have client collaboration portals that allow us to co-create with our clients. Again, making sure there's upfront alignment. It reduces revision cycles for us. And it's really provided a new way for us to collaborate with clients. Our media team uses it extensively across everything they do, from, of course, media planning to optimization to measurement. Our science and medical teams are using it for literature synthesis. They are doing claims development. But really, for them, what it's allowed them to do is just focus on what it is they love to do, and that's develop better scientific stories. And then lastly, development. AI is so fundamentally game-changing when it comes to development. Mm-hmm. So all of our front-end and back-end development now is heavily AI augmented, and that's really allowed us to reduce the time and effort associated with the development phase, which for our clients is key, right? In terms of getting to market faster, that quicker development cycle is absolutely fundamental. So again, all of this comes back to really allowing all of our folks at Deerfield to focus on doing what we do best as an agency: deliver best-in-class creative, think more strategically, and deliver flawlessly.
So I really love that response. I love what you were talking about there about how democratizing and being able to empower all different parts of the enterprise is so key when we're talking about AI. I am curious too, and this was something we kind of alluded to at the start of the conversation in terms of like everybody's doing it. That's just table stakes at this point. But what really separates what you're seeing in terms of organizations, in terms of how they're leveraging and using AI to further their mission, whether internally or externally?
It's a great question. So, one of the things we always say is if you're just trying it, you're kind of wasting time, right? The true value in AI is integrating it into our systems, as Jesse talked about, building the right customized tools that align to kind of the workflows and the production cycles that we have internally so that we see the value on the back end. And that value, the most important piece of that value is probably what Jesse just spoke about, which is now our teams have more time to spend with our clients, think about their business, and come up with more things that could make a bigger impact on their business. So it's one of the things I heard at a conference that I was at earlier this week in New York City was stop asking and start tasking, right? So just using it like an advanced Google search is not enough. Where you're going to see the true output is when you almost treat it like an assistant, right? Like a coworker, and it helps to drive some of those more tedious tasks that you're doing on a regular basis to build that foundation. So then you could apply more thinking and create more value for your clients. So again, we jumped right in. We're fully integrated, not only in our workflows, but also building the right tools by department to help fuel and augment every person in our building, which we think is going to be critical to success in the future. I would say it's probably all over the spectrum right now as far as how advanced people are. You look at more of an AI or a tech company, they could be 80% adoption. I think our goal is going to be to try to stay ahead of that curve and to make sure that we're out in front, kind of leading the charge on that.
I really appreciate that, especially when we talk about the separation in terms of how AI is being used, certainly at your agency, agencies writ large, and then we're talking about the adoption across different businesses. Super helpful to understand. I want to talk too about what does it mean when you actually have like HI and AI working together for clients? Like, what does that mean in terms of that dynamic there?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just having a conversation with one of our clients about this, one of our largest clients about this the other day. What they're noticing with us, and I think what all of our clients notice with us, is that they're seeing leaner, high-impact teams that are AI augmented, that are able to deliver more. They're able to be more efficient. They're able to help them directly with their own AI initiatives. We do that by using AI co-piloting principles. What that means is that, as Dom was saying before, our human experts remain just that, human experts in creative and technology and strategy and in science. But they are using AI behind the scenes, and AI is really doing the heavy lifting and allowing them to really focus more on the strategy. And then the other piece that they're seeing a lot from us is just a different level of strategic engagement. So it's no longer for us just about deliverables and helping them with brand strategy and creative strategy. It's about helping them in their own AI journeys, right? So all of our clients are on similar paths as we are, right? Mm-hmm. They're all trying to figure out where AI plays the most successfully within their enterprise. So we're really positioned well to be part of that conversation with them. And in some cases, we have AI SWAT teams, if you will, that sit on site with our clients and do that. They help them brainstorm new ways to utilize AI to solve business problems. They help co-create with them, like we talked about a little bit before, how we're able to reduce revision cycles and ensure alignment up front by sitting with them in person and co-creating. And I think the other thing that they see is just all interactions with Deerfield right now are very AI forward, are very AI curious, if you will. All of our folks, as Dom was saying before, are really engaged in AI in their own ways, depending on where they are in their own personal journeys. But it's a very AI forward group right now. And I think all of that really comes together, again, just to provide this new level of strategic interaction with our clients.
I think it's so great to be able to hear about this hybrid combination of HI and AI, and it's not one of those things that's replacing one or the other, and either a complete outright rejection of AI or AI coming in and taking your job. So it's super helpful to understand that for how it's working within your organization. To kind of wrap up the conversation here, Dom, I want to throw it over to you in terms of like how you actually structure this and get the most benefit of being able to put AI into your organization and get those efficiencies, get that productivity. What does that look like from a structure perspective?
Absolutely. Adoption is critically important to us. Obviously, if we're building these tools, we need people to be using these tools and leveraging the value you can get out of these tools. One of the great things about Deerfield is we've been doing this for a long time through a lot of different technological advances that we've made over the years. So we've developed a great learning and development program. We have a lot of different training and a lot of different mediums and formats to make sure we're keeping our teams not only aware of the latest and greatest, but also giving them very good direction on how to use things and how to think about things. Recently, as AI has advanced, we've implemented a few other things as well. So one of the things we've done is we're pairing super users up with what we consider to be average users, just to make sure we're pushing them along. We also have several meetings. We have a meeting we call Inform and Inspire, where we're bringing the latest and greatest, and we're sharing a lot of what we're doing and how that has impacted our clients' work or impacted the ability of someone internally to do a better job for their clients and spend more time thinking on their business and being proactive on their business. We also like to implement what we're calling right now the 80-20 rule. So we want people that are curious about AI to have the time to learn it and to really build the muscle around how to use these tools. So we do carve out periods of time for them to get away from client work, get away from their day-to-day busy life and just dive into some of these tools and have fun with them. Now, one of the things that's also critically important as you continue to evolve AI is compliance, right, and security. So before any of these tools are rolled out, they're obviously tested internally. We make sure we have the right compliance and security aspects embedded so that by the time the tools are available to people, they don't have to be fearful about using them. So fear is another issue. People are a little concerned about, well, what does it do? And what do I have to worry about? We're creating an environment where they don't have to worry about that so that they can dive in and get the best out of that engagement on a daily basis.
I love that balance there, especially what you're talking about, where it's basically having your AI ambassadors being able to bring those up to speed who maybe have fallen by the wayside or something like that is really encouraging there. So once again, really appreciate you guys being here for the video series and being able to share all these insights for our audience around a very dynamic, evolving space. So thank you again for being on here, Jesse and Dom. Really appreciate it.
Our pleasure,
thank
Jay.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. And thank you to the viewer for being here for the latest episode of the MM+M Agency 100 video series. I'm Executive Editor Jack O'Brien. Thank you again. Take care. We'll see you in the future.